Hey everybody, welcome to episode 4 of Random Battles. Today's game is Mobile Suit Gundam Online, which is a game I have mentioned before in my Minecraft LP. It is a game very similar to Battlefield in its current state, where in this game the only sort of gameplay style at the moment is a conquest style, with bases that have HP and also capture points. It is currently in open beta, but as you can see, everything is in Japanese. This is a Japanese game. It requires that you have a Japanese IP address, which in today's day and age is not difficult to circumvent with the use of VPNs and whatnot. So we're just gonna hop in here. As you can see, I have currently a deck, a hangar of 4 mobile suits. Currently I have a sniper, a heavy class, an assault class, and a repair class. For all you possibly Gundam fans out there, it's a Zaku 1 sniper, a Zaku 2 J type, a Zaku 2 F type, and a Zaku 2 JC type. Most stuff in this game is going to be Japanese in the menus, but anything that Windows for some reason cannot translate is going to be question marks. So the way this works is you can either go solo or become the commander, or join a platoon. And if I can find one, we will join one. I might have to we're just going to roll solo. There isn't any ready to go. So, we're at 36 seconds now, or actually a minute, 31 kind of in the queue. This should go by pretty quick. Oh yeah, here we go. The game's been in open beta for a couple months now, I want to say. It is a free-to-play game, and they're constantly adding to the game all the time. There are, I want to say, about 20 mobile suits total. There might be around 10 per team currently, but they're planning to add dozens per month, actually. So we won't have, if you really are interested in playing this game and you don't see kind of the mobile suits you like, then you will have the opportunity in the future to probably get one of those if you're really willing to take the steps into this. Personally, I do not read Japanese, so most of what is going on I cannot tell you the case. But the gameplay style is pretty straightforward, so once you're in the thick of it, you won't have a lot of troubles, and people tend to play as a team, so it's not too big of a deal. Regardless of win or lose, you're going to see this episode. Hopefully it's a sufficiently decent fight. Sometimes one team gets rolled over the other fairly quickly. So what you do is you start the game, you pick what class you want. You have the option of choosing certain bonus items, but you can do that anytime during the match. And then you pick where you want to spawn on the map. Usually there's bases. There's 2 kinds of bases. You have a hard point and a soft point. The hard point, you have to get inside the base and not be killed by the base defenses and destroy the base control unit. Or the soft point is just a land battleship that you have to destroy. Currently I'm running with an assault class, which tend to be the main strike units. They're the fastest, but they don't have the strongest of weapons. The way the fights tend to go at the beginning is everyone rushes to a point. You get whatever kind of, to get points off control point captures, or to try to quickly engage the enemy. My suit currently is not one of the high-speed types. It is an assault class, but I don't currently have one of the assault types, or the fast, high mobility suits that are available.
いいだろう。目覚めぬ悪夢を見せてやろう。
Each suit has 3 different weapon slots. Some, like the repair classes or the snipers, have support weapons. Wow, one grenade just murdered me pretty good right there. So you can see how quickly you can die in this game. True to the Gundam franchise, the Federation suits have much stronger weapons. They have beam weapons, which are like energy weapons, and they will tear through a mobile suit in moments, no question. So basically you have a life bar, which is the armor there and there on the top, bottom right, and you have a boost next to that, which allows you to move quicker and also climb vertically. Top right is, of course, the map, and that can be toggled larger and easily enough. Along with below the map, there are current objectives set by the commander, along with on the map, in the center of the map, we have an objective. So if you manage to run completely out of boost like I just did, you have the opportunity to overheat, which means you have to wait longer. And I managed to have a teammate run in front of my bazooka blast, thereby shooting myself and bringing me down to half health. So there is no friendly fire in this game, but there definitely is, you know, you can damage yourself really easily not paying attention. The whole score screen works on a current point system. Depending on what you do, you can get points easily. I am not doing very well currently, thanks to whatever reason. As you can see, currently I have a red marker on my suit, which means I've been tagged by a enemy suit's camera gun, which shows their entire team where I am, but not much further than that. I am getting attacked from behind. Dead. Got sniped. Tells you who killed you and what kind of suit they're using, and probably with what, in the right side of the screen there. Whenever you die, your suit has a reload time, so you have to wait for that to return before it can be used again. The better suits in the game have longer reload times, or refresh times, respawn times. So currently we're in a friendly base, and an enemy had come in here to attack point. And the 2 bars at the top, the Xeon and the SF bars, are the overall team life. If a teammate dies, the bar subtracts. If a point takes damage, a base takes damage, then the bar declines. And the bar declines depending on how many points you control. So it's very much like the Battlefield-style conquest. Ah, ancient repairs. You have the option to customize your suits to some extent. You can spend points to upgrade them, their stats, depending on whether or not you have a gold or a silver blueprint, which you can gain through various means in the game. You can upgrade your suit up to either 20 or 30 times, and there are different methods of doing that to optimize it. This is a free-to-play game, so there are actual money options involved in it. And if you play the game enough, you'll realize that they are definitely pushing that, but it is not pay to win, for sure. It just feels like one team is much better than the other consistently, which is not a pay to win thing, it's just a not superbly balanced kind of thing. So what I'm standing at now is this repair point that's put down by a player to repair my armor and also getting shelled, and also refresh my my ammunition storage. Wow. Every time you hear that do-do-do-do means I'm getting a lock-on or being bombed, and it means I need to move. Unfortunately, this team is not doing super well. We're not losing by a huge margin, but there's a good chance that the enemy team is going to retain this margin for the entirety of the time. As you can tell, it is definitely very easy to die. Some of the enemy enemy suits have very, very powerful weapons. That was a burst fire rocket launcher, bazooka, that knocked me down and with the subsequent hits murdered me, so, you know, I didn't even see the guy. Deaths will be aggravating and common in this game, unfortunately, and I'm playing behind a VPN, so at the same time I have, unfortunately, a certain amount of latency that will be hard to overcome due to that fact. And I'm not very good. I'll put that out there. This is probably my least favorite map in the game, actually. I have too many choke points, and it's very easy to just be crushed over and over by artillery. I'll leave it out. Nailed that guy. He was trying to hide out. There is melee in this game, and it is very, very aggravating. The Federation suits do have a beam saber on the ones that do have melee weapons, and it has a much broader range than the Xeon Heathawk. And it tends to one-shot kill while the Heathawk doesn't, unless you have a very upgraded or the most powerful of them. So most people on my team rarely will actually melee. There is a lock-on in the game, but it does not make your aim any better. It will kind of hold you into the general area a bit, but it's better off to, if you're good at shooting third-person style, to just, maybe forget about it unless they're in a smoke cloud or whatever case. There we go, railgun. If you watch further, you will see me die very quickly to one-shot kills or very many rapid-fire ones. Frequently. It's unfortunately in the way this works. This game is brutal and unforgiving. You can generally only spawn at points that your team controls, but you can, as the commander, can also place not a mobile spawn point, but a little point that has HP that can be destroyed, and also repairs units. Depending on the tactical points, as you can see, the top are currently at 517. Each different tactic that the commander uses takes up a certain number of those points, whether it be summoning a battleship at 500 points, or actually, I believe it's 500, it might be 300 or something, or summoning a nuke. You can put nukes down at the enemy bases to blow them up instantly, or summoning ace pilots, which have much higher HP than regular players, or just things simply like putting down, dropping airstrikes. We're using a three-shot shotgun, which makes it a little difficult to have a full-on close combat battle without being very precise. My goal currently to try and, well, that guy had an incredibly fast-shooting machine gun that I could not dodge whatsoever. He was actually a repair unit, and it's a major gripe of mine that certain classes have very overpowering guns. That being the case, power damage is not the issue in this game. It is speed of fire, and the Xeon team has the slowest firing weapons, hands down. We have very strong bazookas, but unless you hit someone, 3 times dead on with the bazooka, you will not kill them in the amount of time it takes them to machine gun you to death, or beam rifle, or whatever the case. It's actually had a negative detriment in the game recently. While this game has reached its million player mark and is increasing player count daily, at the same time, there was a mass exodus from one team to the other, meaning that Xeon players are less numerous than they used to be, and that's why I had like a 4-second queue. When I started playing this game and Xeon was winning and you had very many more players, wow, just nailed rocket after rocket. I can't dodge those. It's just instant kills. It's very, very aggravating. I'm sorry. That's the case. And I don't have anything that can remotely compete with that. The suit I was just using was max upgraded, and as you can see, I died instantly. It's just very, very painful to play this game sometimes. Just one team feels incredibly overpowered, and that is my only, as much as I like this game, that is my main sticking point if you're interested in playing this, is be sure you really want to play it, because it can, I have seen very many people rage quit, in the English speakers, who just don't feel like the teams are balanced. The numbers are there what they are, but we are constantly in a losing fight. And there's nothing you can do about it. One guy jumps into your group of 10 and he can kill 4 people, and you're standing there shooting and wondering, why is this happening? You know, I'm putting rounds into this guy, and the next thing you know, you're dead, and he's killed 2 of your buddies. It's just really, really painful sometimes. And I wish I had a reason why. I really don't. But I mean, maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome. I just continue to play this game. We lose continuously, and you have to have a certain amount of points to rank up, and you can lose those points, which is, in my opinion, a very bad design choice. But you can negatively impact your character's progress just by losing the game. Even if you have a good score, I've been in the top 10 and reached negative points towards my next rank. It's just how it is. I've won. I've been on the winning team, and we literally have won so quickly that I could not. I literally could not get enough points in the amount of time that we had to get the necessary amount of points to be considered having actually won and getting a positive score. So that is a big issue. This is a very grindy game. This is a very Japanese game. And when I say that, I mean it is a game that is all about punishing the player for playing. It's very easy to play this game to enjoy it, but to play this game and feel competitive or even feel effective is very difficult to do. Right now I have a repair unit, which I often feel like has much higher survivability than either of my 2 very upgraded units, my assault and my heavy unit, which is kind of nonsense to me, but I do often get murdered by other repair classes. And you see there, I got shot 3 times and it was over. I was already damaged, but there was absolutely no escaping that. I have yet to use my sniper, but this is a very poor map for that. There are very good players out there, and I don't know how to do it sometimes. I've seen people with upwards of 500 some points in first place. Right now I'm at 52 and 39th, which is a very bad score. But at the same time, I don't know how people get very, very good scores. They have very high mobility suits that allow them to cap points all the time, and also are at the same time eliminating the other team very well. I really sometimes don't understand it. So right now I'm trying to mark enemy players so my teammates know that we have enemies at the gate, so to speak. And it's very much the case, as they're pushing onto our main base very closely, and I am getting absolutely nailed with artillery. Snipers are really very poor in this game. We'll see how many we have currently, but they're often very outclassed. They have very low armor, and their weapons are very annoying. It doesn't matter where your crosshair is on the screen. it's where your mobile suit is looking that your crosshairs will show up when you're zoomed in. Like currently we have 2 snipers and me who just died, so sniping is very difficult. It really depends on the map you're on, whether or not it's a viable thing to use, and just how good of a player you are. So the point I just spawned at is being attacked and was destroyed. You might have seen there, I shot, I have a 3-round burst shotgun, and I shot 2 or 3 guys with 3-round bursts apiece, and did not manage to murder them. This game will absolutely destroy you if you get shot anywhere that isn't the front, and even then you'll be hurt very badly. And there is a bonus attributed to their team. If multiple people attack the same person at the same time, it multiplies the damage significantly. And so there's no real ability to do any kind of lone wolfing, being gung-ho. You will get crushed. If you jump into a group of guys, there's a good chance you will die. Now that doesn't always count for the Federation team, who have beam sabers, where one person can jump into a crowd and swing a sword in a 360-degree arc and murder 3 people at once, unlike the Xeon team, which has a very small arc of fire and all that. This is unfortunately the case, and as it stands, the Xeon team does not have mobile suits that are able to stand up to the other team. Many more are on the slate to come out, but as it stands, there's just very poor balance between suits. And as more and more come out, it'll be better as teams get more varied and less of the same suit is constantly in use by one team or another. With this current bazooka I have the ability to charge it, which does 1.5 times the damage, and it possibly increases its splash damage range. And that is something that is mostly a skill attributed only to the heavy classes. There we go. Tried to capture that point, and turned out there were 4 guys down the hall who were not too happy about that. So as it stands, actually, the teams are very much balanced currently. There's a good chance that a teammate of mine may have made it into the enemy base and done significant damage there and managed to even the teams up significantly. And something like that can happen. The winning team can be switched very easily in this game. All it takes is something like a nuclear device, or a very good player, or perhaps sometimes a battleship which can be summoned that completely turns the tide of the game. What I'm using right now is called a Magella Top Cannon. It's basically a tank gun with slightly explosive rounds, and it allows me to have medium to long range with this assault suit, where my complementary weapon is a shotgun. We have 12 seconds left and we are losing, so this is a lost. This is definitely a loss for our team. Not significant, but there's a good chance that me only having 99 points when I need about 250 to actually get a positive score most of the time, this is going to hurt me pretty badly. But I hope watching this you guys have gained some knowledge of what this game is about and how it functions. I am going to do a couple more of these and see what response I get, but this is something I have been spending some of my time on. See there, that is a significant amount of -20. I have not gotten -20 points in a very, very long time. On average, I will get -8 to -12, and maybe -16 at the most. I have never gotten -20 points, and that is very, very painful when I need 300 points to progress. So you can see how very aggravating this game is. You can be very dedicated to playing this game, and if you do not have a significantly good team, or the other team is just that much better, it is much more difficult to succeed. And so you're just so much less likely to ever rank up in this game. And then post-game, you have a series of random boxes you can choose from that give you options. Different items. Some you can use for upgrading suits, some are just worth selling. Currently there's a event going on for a new type of gashapon, which is, I'll show you in a minute, and they're giving extra EX tickets. So, take a look at, briefly, before they end this episode, the shop. This is a pay-to-play game, and you can buy something called BC, which counts for different purposes. You can get things for what's called the DX gashapon, or you can buy gold repair tickets, which give you higher chances of increasing the stats on your suit. You cannot buy mobile suits. You can buy rentals of mobile suits, of the very basic ones, and you actually start with almost one. You start with one of each of these suits at the beginning of the game, actually, I'm pretty sure, or most of them. At the same time, there's materials you can buy to upgrade your suits, and there are items. There are items that increase the amount of points you get at the end of the game by 30%. If you're like me and just got -20, and using that, you would still get negative something, or perhaps you might get 0 if you use one of those. You can get more items. These kind of things you win randomly at the end of a match, or through various events in the game. And then there's a gashapon. There's 3 kinds. There's one where you spend the in-game currency, which is the GP, and they're the ones that they have good suits, but they have the worst odds of getting the good suits. And then you have a DX gashapon, which has the very best suits, and these gashapons change on about a monthly basis as they add more suits, and the DX will become the regular, and they'll have new suits coming in. And then they just add an EX gashapon, added one, where you have the opportunity to get the brand new suit they just added, which you saw me using a bit ago, and you actually have no opportunities to get any actual significantly good suits. You can get silver of 2 of the decent ones, but gold suits are preferable. They are more expensive to make, but they, in the long run, will perform better. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick look at Mobile Suit Gundam Online. If you have any more interest in the game, post in the comments below, and I'll try to answer your questions. We do have an English-speaking guild, but at the same time, we have a maximum amount of people who can be in it, which is 24. It increases as we level up, as your clan gains more points to clan levels, and you can gain more people. But let me know what you think, and hopefully you enjoyed this, or at least learned something, and I'll see you next time for more random battles.